All over the world today, men and women of all creeds are awakening to the tremendous therapeutic results following the application of mental and spiritual law. In the fields of medicine, psychiatry, psychology, and other related fields, evidence is being adduced in articles written on the destructive effects of mental and emotional conflicts between various diseases. When the conscious mind of the sick person redirects his subconscious mind along godlike channels, a cleansing takes place, and the infinite healing presence is released, causing the miracle of healing to occur. How a crippled hand was healed. Following is a verbatim testimonial of the response to the infinite healing presence when you call upon it. Dear Dr. Murphy, I broke my left wrist, and the bones of my wrist and hand were so shattered that the doctor had to set them under a fluoroscope. I was told my hand would be crippled, and I would have to learn to compensate with my other hand. Since I do secretarial work, I must have the use of both hands. The healing power mended and renewed the bones and muscles. In 3.5 months, I was back at work. During that time, I had repeated feeling many times a day the creative intelligence which made my wrist is healing me now. The doctor had told me I would have arthritis in my wrist and that a change of weather would cause it to ache. That was 7 years ago. Today I have full use of my hand, no arthritis, and a change of weather makes no difference. In fact, my left wrist and hand are more flexible and nimble than my right. Again, I thank you for your prayers and instructions on how to use the healing power within me. Sincerely, Mrs. MBD. I might add to this lady's letter by pointing out that she has a thorough knowledge of the conscious and subconscious mind and is a deep student of the power of your subconscious mind. She realized that spiritual therapy is the synchronized, harmonious, and intelligent function of the conscious and subconscious levels of mind, specifically directed for a definite purpose. You will notice that she completely rejected the prognosis of a crippled wrist and affirmed with deep understanding that the infinite intelligence which created her hand was healing it. These ideas sank into her subconscious mind, and the healing followed. How cosmic power healed a diseased kidney and a broken bone. The following letter is from a wonderful woman who understands the healing power resident in the cosmic mind. Dear Dr. Murphy, you have helped me so many times it is hard to select the most important occasion. I recall being in terrible pain, and while our family physician was away on vacation, 2 strange doctors told me I had a cyst on the right ovary and an abscess on the kidney. I prayed and the pain disappeared overnight, and an examination showed the abscess and the cyst had disappeared. I claimed God's healing love in my subconscious mind is in this moment dissolving everything unlike itself. I felt the truth of this, and the miracle happened. I know you prayed also, and I thank you. The most wonderful demonstration was for my mother. When she was 85, she fell and broke her pelvic bone and shoulder blade. Pneumonia set in, and the doctor did not think she would live, and if she did, she would not walk again, but she would have to be in a wheelchair. She said, well, that's his opinion, and through faith in your prayer, she was walking again in 3 months without even the use of a cane. Of course, you may use our names. Mother was Bertha Sparrow, signed Mrs. Eric Marler, Los Angeles, California. The cosmic healing power and how you can use it. The true method of spiritual healing does not lie in some magic wand waving, but rather in the mental response of man to the indwelling cosmic power which created him and all things in the world. Spiritual healing is not the same as faith healing. A faith healer may be any person who heals without any knowledge or scientific understanding of the powers of the conscious and the subconscious mind. He may claim that he has some magical gift of healing, and the sick person's blind belief in him or his power may bring result. The spiritual therapist must know what he is doing and why he is doing it. He trusts the law of healing. The law of mind is that whatever you impress on your subconscious mind will be expressed in like manner as form, function, experience, and events. Impress your subconscious with thoughts of peace, harmony, health, and perfection by dwelling sincerely on these concepts with interest. Your thought and the feeling interest will induce a healing response from the cosmic power. How the cosmic power healed a tailor's blindness. Recently I interviewed a tailor who was gradually going blind. He had had several retinal eye hemorrhages, and his doctor had suggested that he give up tailoring and live in the country. He stayed with his work, and the sight was growing worse. His doctor, an old friend of mine, suggested to the tailor that he talk to me about his home life. In discussing his eyes, the tailor admitted to me that he hated the sight of his mother-in-law, who had lived in his home for several years, and was habitually petulant, crotchety, cantankerous, and a source of endless trouble. I suggested that he ask her to leave at once, which he did, At the same time, he wished for her all the blessing of life, thereby eradicating all the resentment and hostility from his subconscious mind. For 10 or 15 minutes every day, he affirmed boldly, "By day and by night I am seeing more and more of God's love, light, truth, and beauty in every person and everything. God is healing me now, and I give thanks for my perfect vision." In due course, I received the following note for him. "Dear Mr. Murphy, I am writing to thank you for the healing of my eyes. You opened my eyes when you explained to me that I was the cause of my own eye trouble. My doctor said my vision is normal now, and I don't have to give up tailoring. God bless." 20th century miracles of healing. A miracle is not a violation of natural law. A miracle does not prove that which is impossible, it proves that which is possible. A miracle is something that happens when one brings in a higher law than those which man has known heretofore. How the cosmic power resolved a writer's manuscript problem. The following paragraphs are taken verbatim from Mrs. Arnold's letter, showing how she used the healing principle to resolve a frustration. She had spent a great deal of time and care in writing a manuscript, but she felt the title was completely wrong. "Dear Dr. Murphy, for several weeks I have been writing down titles, scratching them out, and trying again. Sunday I had a strong compulsion to go to church, which I had to hurry to do as household duties had made me somewhat late in getting started. When I got into the Ebell Theatre, I sat down quietly, relaxed, and said to myself, I know and I believe that today the God Self will give me a title for my manuscript. It was not until you said during the course of the lecture, intellect cannot solve the problems with which people are faced today. Then I realized, in spite of my statement of belief to myself, I was still trying to solve it on a conscious level. The title then popped into my mind like a piece of a toast out of a toaster. As you have often said, I knew it was absolutely right and exactly fitted what I am trying to say in the manuscript. I was so elated I could have laughed out loud. It was so simple. The impossible made possible by reliance on the subconscious. I won't reveal the title even to you, Dr. Murphy, but it's just what I needed to renew my enthusiasm to work on the manuscript. And I don't want to weaken that feeling nor the effectiveness of the answer by talking too much about it. Suffice to say, I am most grateful. Sincerely, Mrs. J.R. Arnold. Mrs. Arnold realizes and knows that this cosmic healing power works in your business or professional world just as well as it does in the healing of your body. How a school teacher healed her ulcers and achieved promotion. The following is a letter from a school teacher. Dear Dr. Murphy, for months I have been praying for a healing and for success in my profession. I attended your lecture one Sunday morning about a month ago at the Wilshire Ebel Theatre when you spoke on how to use the healing power. As you spoke, I realized that I had been unconsciously rehearsing my aches and pains and constantly rehearsing my troubles in the classroom and with my principal. I was in the habit of criticizing and blaming the pupils, the parents, and the school authorities. I was also in the very bad habit of criticizing and condemning myself for being ill. I felt sure that my desire to be promoted would fail. It seemed to me that throughout your lecture you were talking to me, yet I know that you didn't know I was there in the audience of 1,300 people. Before the lecture was over, I became aware of the fact that I had been actually squandering the treasures of life within me on negative thoughts and imagery that were positively destructive. I followed your instructions and began to identify with the infinite healing process within me, and I affirmed frequently with deep understanding the meditation you suggested. God hath not given me the spirit of fear, but of power, and of love and of sound mind. I have a firm, unwavering faith in God as my bountiful, ever-present good. I am vitalized, energized, healed, and made whole. Promotion is mine now. I radiate love and goodwill to all my pupils, my associates, and to all those around me. And from the depths of my heart I wish for all of them peace, joy, and happiness. The intelligence and wisdom of God animate and sustain all those in my class and in all times, and I am illumined and inspired. When I am tempted to think negatively, I will immediately think of God's healing power. I want to thank you for that lecture. I have had a perfect healing of my ulcers, and I have received a promotion and have established a very harmonious relationship with all my associates and pupils. I understand the reason for all this is the fact that the children in my class subconsciously picked up my new mood of love, goodwill, and confidence that I constantly exude vibrancy and joy. Yours very truly, E.R.B. How a 5-word formula healed epilepsy. The following interesting letter was received while I was writing this chapter. Dear Dr. Murphy, I listen to your radio program every morning. This morning I heard you read a letter from a radio listener about a wonderful healing which he had. May I tell you about the marvelous healing which I had? It has been nearly 4 years since I had an attack of epilepsy. I never knew what caused the seizure. I had been taking about 3 or 4 grams of phenobarbital every day and was sleepy all the time. One morning on radio you discussed some psychosomatic research work on epilepsy, saying that suppressed emotions, intense hatred and hostility toward parents often were causative factors. Well, this was true in my case. I began to pray, systematically pouring out love and goodwill towards my parents until I could meet them in my mind and be at ease. Every night and morning for about 6 months I repeated slowly, God is healing me now. One morning I knew I was healed as a tremendous feeling of joy welled up over me. I stopped taking the drugs and went to my doctor. He conducted the usual brain tests. All were negative. That was almost 4 years ago. The 5-word formula, God is healing me now, you gave on the radio sank in my soul, and I am eternally grateful. It was so true that the suppressed negative electricity had been a negative outlet, and it was expressed as epilepsy in my case. It is true that love is a great healer. Sincerely yours, JDM. The law of belief and how to use it. The law of life is a law of belief, and belief could be totally summed up as a thought in your mind. To believe is to accept something is true. Whatever your conscious reasoning mind accepts as true engenders a corresponding reaction from your subconscious mind, which is one with infinite intelligence within you. Your subconscious mind works through the creative law, which responds to the nature of your thought, bringing about conditions, experiences, and events in the image and likeness of your habitual thought patterns, proving the truth stated so succinctly in the Bible. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Chapter summary. The infinite healing presence which made you can heal you and make you whole. There is only one cosmic healing power, and that is God within you. A woman healed her crippled hand by calling on the infinite healing presence, and it responded and acted according to her belief. The so-called impossible became possible. A cyst on the ovary and an abscess in the kidney were dissolved by a woman who believes that God's love can dissolve everything unlike itself. If you can think a tumor into being, and you can, it is possible to unthink it. In spiritual healing you must understand what you are doing and why you are doing it. True spiritual healing is the synchronous union of your conscious and subconscious mind, scientifically directed by cosmic power. A tailor's eyesight returned when he entered into the spirit of forgiveness and affirmed freely and knowingly, by day and by night I am seeing more and more of God's love, light, truth, and beauty in every person and everything. A miracle is something that happens naturally when one brings in a higher cosmic law than those which man has heretofore known. A writer healed her frustration by realizing that infinite intelligence knows the answer and that she was receiving it now. The answer popped into her mind like toast pops out of a toaster. A teacher ceased rehearsing her aches, pains, and difficulties and turned to God. She claimed promotion, peace, health, and harmony, and her desires were granted. The Bible says, "He shall call upon me, and I will answer him." God is the infinite intelligence within you which responds to your thoughts. There is a 5-word magic formula for healing. God is healing me now. A woman applied it and was healed.